not seem to be easing off its attacks on its neighbours.
It certainly has. It certainly has not. As you mentioned, these attacks continue in force, with Kuwait bearing the brunt of them in the last 24 hours. Desalination and power generation facilities sustaining damage from Iranian drone attacks, according to Kuwaiti authorities. This is also a significant escalation because this is civilian infrastructure, something that the region is very much wary of, as this region relies on desalination for most of its water. This is very critical and a sign that would certainly strike fear in a lot of the residents across the Gulf. Now, Iran has threatened, if the U.S. and Israel were to attack its power plants, which President Trump has threatened most recently in a Truth Social post today, Iran has threatened to, quote, plunge the Gulf into darkness. And there is certainly fear that these kinds of attacks could continue. As you mentioned, we've also seen attacks on petrochemical and oil facilities in Bahrain and the UAE. They sustained fires, which authorities said were put out quickly. Saudi Arabia also reported a number of missile intercepts. And here in the UAE, just to give you a sense of the numbers, air defenses today engaged 9 ballistic missiles, 1 cruise missile, and 50 drones. That is according to the UAE Ministry of Defense.
Meanwhile, Natasha, 8 OPEC Plus members are meeting today, and they're weighing a further oil output hike. What more do we know about that?
OPEC Plus has agreed in principle to theoretically hike output by 206,000 barrels of oil per day. That's according to recent Reuters reports citing sources in the last hour or so. But the problem with that is that these barrels effectively only exist on paper. And that is because the key producing members of OPEC cannot actually raise their production due to the U.S.-Israel war with Iran. Now, if you look at this vital Strait of Hormuz, the members of OPEC that were able to most effectively increase their production before the war began, most of their oil reaches the rest of the world via the Strait of Hormuz, which of course is effectively closed. And if you go outside the strait, look at major OPEC Plus producers like Russia. Russia is also unable to increase its output due to Western sanctions and attacks on its oil facilities due to the war with Ukraine. So at the moment, we are still looking at extremely tight ability here, almost really effectively an inability to raise output for world markets, even if they make this agreement.
Natashaturak in Dubai, thank you.